By sailing long distances on our floating home, we get to visit some of the most beautiful places in the world. Here we are at Maupiti, a hidden gem located west of French Polynesia. We have been here for quite a while, enjoying this island paradise. But although the conditions inside the lagoon are idyllic, the ocean swell outside the atoll, coupled with strong winds, has made the only way out impossible. For the last few days, we've been running our dinghy out to check the conditions of the pass, and we finally feel like we can make our exit safely. But soon after our departure, we are reminded that as sailors, it doesn't matter if it's rough or dead calm. The weather is always in control. I feel comfortable with this. What do you think? It's day 5 of checking the pass. The waves have stopped breaking over the channel, and the current has subsided, the conditions we've been waiting for. So we headed back to the boat so we could finally get underway.
It's go time, finally, after waiting here in Maupiti for over a week for conditions to improve. We went out and checked the pass this morning and it looks a lot better. The wind has shifted, so it's a little bit out of the north now instead of out of the south, and that makes a huge difference because with the current flowing out and the south winds against it, it just stands up and makes gnarly conditions in the pass. But now it looks a lot tamer, so we're gonna make a run for it. It's been a nice stay here, although the last 3 or 4 days have just been super rainy. We really enjoyed this island. The hike was absolutely incredible. Our favorite hike in French Polynesia. Now it's time to go. We are out of French Polynesia and onto the Cook Islands. We're gonna sail about 700 miles to Suwarrow, which is a really small atoll in the northern part of the Cook Islands. It's gonna take us about 5, 6, maybe 7 days to get there. Hopefully we have nice conditions and a nice easy sail because it's a long one.
We're getting ready to approach the pass, and I have to say my pucker level is about a 10 right now. Oh, the anxiety is real. I think I'm gonna let Gary take it once we get close here, once we weave through this channel. Although we had checked the pass and felt comfortable with the conditions, we also know that when exiting such a narrow channel, that one wrong move or system failure could leave us washed onto the surrounding reef. So it was important for us to be alert and ready to make any quick adjustments. Whew. A weight has been lifted for sure. I was really stressed out about that. And it feels great to be sailing again, underway. Ooh.
Just kick back and relax for 6 days, right?
Hopefully. That's the plan. Rain's coming.
You like hear it? Like how?
Mm-hmm. It's a heavy gust.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this wall. That escalated quickly.
Always does.
Our water speed isn't working right now. We assume that there's like some algae or something or a barnacle that's down there, but it's saying that we have about 16 knots of wind from behind, and we're going about 5 to 6 knots, so it's actually probably about 22 knots of true wind that we're seeing. So we decided to bring in our head sail and roll out our staysail. We didn't like the look of these clouds.
Which ones? Which clouds are you referring to? The ones
All
that
of
way,
them.
that way, that way, or that way?
All right, it is 8 p.m. We just did a watch change. I was down resting. But it's kind of been a little bit of a challenging sail so far. We're currently motor sailing. I know you can hear our engine in the background. But we've got a lot of really unsettled weather. So the wind is going from 5 knots to 20 knots literally in a blink of an eye. It's just very inconsistent, and the slees are really sloppy. So we're just trying to make miles north as much as we can to try to get out of the unsettled weather. But this is our first long sail in quite a while, and to be honest, I was feeling a bit squishy earlier. So it's starting to subside a little bit, and hopefully Gary can get some rest. And hopefully the swell calms down. The swell is, so we have wind against swell, so it makes the seas really not very nice. But otherwise we're doing okay. Well, we had a pretty hectic night with lots of squalls and sail changes and no wind and motoring and rain. But the sun just came up, and it looks like the sky is starting to clear, so that looks like a good sign. And I have radar on, and I don't see any storms in the distance forming right now, so hopefully it'll be smooth sailing for a while. And Gary wasn't able to get much sleep last night because he was up a lot doing sail changes and stuff, so hopefully he's resting now, and I'll let him get a couple extra hours of sleep. Actually, I made iced coffee yesterday, so I just poured that. I'm just gonna chill in the cockpit. I'm so thankful for this enclosure. It kept us nice and dry last night, and that's so important. So important to keep ourselves comfortable out here as much as possible. We've been slowly losing our wind, so right now we only have about 3 knots, and our head sail is just flopping, as was our mainsail, so we just brought both of those in. And Gary's gonna jump in and take a look at our water wheel and see why it's not working. We think that there's just a barnacle stuck in there or something. With Gary out of the water, the barnacle removed, and our water speed working again, we decided to motor slowly until the sun set.
How's your night going?
Not too good. So we turned the engine off. It's been a pretty frustrating day. We don't have much wind at all, and we also have a really long way to go before our next fuel stop. So we need to conserve our fuel as much as possible. So we're just bobbing out here, and we're drifting at about 1.5 knots towards our destination. So that's good, but there's probably about a 2-meter swell. And so the motion of the boat isn't very comfortable, but we're just going to wait for the wind to fill in. And I don't know, it looks like it's going to be pretty calm the next few days. We've been checking the forecast, and it's pretty calm. But I think our problem was we had to get out of the pass when it was calm. So it left these conditions out here a little bit inconsistent for us. I don't know. Hopefully the wind fills in the next night or two. We drifted all through the night, and it was quite comfortable actually. It was pretty peaceful, but we just didn't have much wind. But this morning, as soon as the sun came up, we decided to go ahead and rig up our whisker pole and see if we can go just a little faster, maybe even in the right direction, to our destination. We have 555 miles to go. That is the first time that we've drifted all night like that. We just don't want to, we do have fuel, but we just don't want to take the risk of using it since we know the next place that we can get diesel is 1,000 miles away from us right now. So we want to try to conserve it as much as possible.
I'd shoot it in some more. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just too rolling, not enough wind, right? I think with like 8 knots of wind it would work, but with like 4 or 5 knots of wind when we roll. Yeah, if there's 8 knots when we roll it, at least we'll keep it filled. But
we hoped our spinnaker would stay filled enough to give us slightly more speed, but our whisker pole allowed us to keep some wind in our Genoa, so that was the better option. Days 5 through 9 turned into a hazy memory. Each day blended seamlessly into the next, blurring the boundaries of reality. We cooked, we slept, occasionally we would turn on the motor, but otherwise every day was the exact same.
wow.
We drifted, our minds drifted, and the notion of time faded. With each passing moment, we slowly inched our way closer to our destination. But with each passing nautical mile, we felt ourselves slipping deeper and deeper into the ocean's endless expanse, almost like we were in a dreamlike trance. So here we were, just a tiny dot in this giant blue ocean, chilling between the waves and the sky, waiting for the tiniest breeze of wind to propel us forward. On the morning of day 9 at sea, we spotted land and suddenly snapped back to reality. Land ho. Suwarrow Ranger Station, Suwarrow Ranger Station. This is sailing vessel One Life. Not answering.
I just want to ask, this is the Suwarrow Rangers. Just want to ask, which was your last port?
Bora Bora, French Polynesia.
Yep, roger that. How many aboard your yacht?
There are 2 people on board.
This afternoon, you can come ashore with your transport clearance papers, all passports, and ship registration. Did you copy?
Okay, copy that. We will remain on board until you call us this afternoon to come ashore.
Ranger, standing by on 16.
Thank you very much. One Life standing by on 16.
Very professional.
Very professional. Suwarrow is a coral atoll only 50 miles in circumference surrounding a central lagoon. It's literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But despite this being such a remote location, as an international sailing vessel, we are required to follow the entry protocols, so we hoisted our Q flag to prepare for entry. We have finally arrived in Suwarrow after let's see, 8 nights, 9 days at sea, only 670 miles, our slowest sail to date. We average about 70 miles a day. So we were going very slow. We never had much wind. And I think the most wind we saw was when we had a squall, and it only lasted about an hour. And I think we saw like 25 knots or something. Otherwise, all of our wind was around, well, below 10 knots the whole time. And it was all downwind. So we used our pole the best we could, and it was just really slow going. But Suwarrow is actually a really cool place. And first of all, I just want to say that I am so thankful to be here. I know sometimes when we're on a sail, a long sail especially, and we're tired and it seems like, oh, like maybe we're not having much fun. But the reason we're out here doing it is exactly for places like this. So we're probably 400 or 500 miles from any sort of land. You can only get to this island by boat. And it's mostly uninhabited, except there are 2 park rangers.
Yes, good afternoon. Look, I'm just calling you to come in about 4:30 so we can do your clearance.
Okay, thank you. We'll be over at 4:30.
Roger that. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Ranger standing by on 16.
So right now we're gonna run in and do our official clearance into the Cook Islands, because we are officially in a new country, and meet the park rangers. There's a lot of rules here. You need permission to do things like scuba dive and fly the drone. You're not really allowed to do any water sports without their permission. So we're gonna go over there, talk to them, get our passports stamped, and see what the situation is. But yeah, really happy to be here. I used to see this place on a map back when we were still in the Caribbean. I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool to get here someday? And here's the day. We are here, you guys. And yeah, it feels really good. Are you ready?
Let's go check into the Cook Islands.
Lots of little fish. That, yeah. They're friends. Sailing Black Moon. What did you think of that check-in process?
They were very nice and friendly and made it real easy. A lot of forms to fill out as always, but pretty cool. Just the 2 rangers here on island for 6 months at a time. No one else around for hundreds of miles. They get dropped off with their supplies for 6 months, and they get picked up later, and they rely on sailors to bring them things that they need. They actually said that their freezer went down, so they've had no frozen meat for the last few months.
Yeah, maybe we can make them a nice meal, or
maybe we can
give
bring
them
them some frozen chicken.
Yes. Sure, they would appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of no nonsense type of deal, huh?
There are a lot of restrictions here because it's a national park and it's very regulated, so no scuba diving, no fishing, no spear fishing inside the lagoon, no stepping foot on any of the islands except for the one that the rangers are on. So pretty restricted, but that's okay. We're gonna hang out, enjoy the beauty, and we can go do a bunch of snorkeling.
I mean, we're the only ones here, which is
Just
wild.
us and the rangers. Now that we're officially cleared in, Brooke's gonna hoist our Cook Islands courtesy flag.